All right, we're doing discussing bends and shakes or vibrato. They all refer to altering the pitch of a note by bending the string or pulling it or pushing it. And what you're really doing is stretching the string a little bit and making the pitch change. And I'm just going to pick a note here. I'm going to go to fret 5 here. And I'm going to go on the D string, all right, on the 5th fret. I have my first finger, and I'm going to pick that note. And after I do, I'm going to do what's called a shake or vibrato. See how the pitch goes up and down? Now, it's a controlled thing. It's not something that's just erratic and violent. You always want your vibrato and to be controlled. And there's two ways to do it. One way is to actually move the guitar neck like this. And what I'm doing, I have my thumb on top there, and I'm just moving the string back and forth. And I have the guitar neck is actually loose in my left hand, and I'm doing that. And I can control it, da 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 da, or slower, you know. And that's going to make a nice vibrato. Okay, and you want to. What I'm doing is I'm pushing the string up towards the ceiling, and then I'm letting it come back to where it was. I'm not also pulling it down. You either want to go one way or the other. So I'm choosing to go towards the ceiling with it, and then going back to pitch. Here's that pitch, and then bending it goes up a little bit. Hear that? So that's a good way to practice. Make sure the neck is moving like that when you do vibrato that way. Another way to do it is to keep the guitar neck still and just move your finger back and forth on the neck. Like, and, so that's the second way to do it. So there's two ways to do vibrato. It depends, where I am on the guitar, which finger's doing it, or, whatever, for me to decide which way I want to do it. But that's a good way to practice. Just pick it and try to make it steady. And try to do it slower, and then faster, and then faster. But even when I do it fast, it's still a controlled movement, okay? And then, of course, you can do it that way. B.B. King does it that way a lot. Now, that's called a vibrato or a shake, and you need to be able to do it on all fingers, not just the first finger. So if I'm going to use my second finger, I'm going to use my first finger behind it as well to help with the strength of it. So I use both fingers, and I can do it both ways. I can do it like that, or I can just keep the guitar neck still and do it with my hand like that. Okay, so the first way, the guitar neck is really loose in your hand, left hand, and the second way, you got more of a grip on it. Okay, now when you vibrato with the third finger, you of course want to keep the other fingers there with you, and you can do it both ways. But it's a lot easier, I think, if you have these other fingers behind it, and you might even want to do it without your first finger. Just depending on what feels right. But definitely don't leave that finger all by itself to do it. You want to have the other two fingers helping out. Or at least one other finger. Your middle finger. Alright, and then of course the pinky as well. Now that one I kind of scrunch up a little bit. And I'm using my other three fingers to help with it. So, whenever you're soloing, so vibrato is very useful, and you really need to learn how to do it. But you need to just take one finger at a time and practice. And the next finger, and the next finger, next one. Now bends are really fun in guitar, especially in blues. You want to do some bends. Typically, when you're in the first shape or the first position for the minor blues scale, you're going to be pushing the string up on the G string on the third finger. You see, so a bend and a vibrato are two different things. A bend tends to be longer that way. Okay? And look how I use my other fingers behind it. And you can do a bend on any note, Okay, now, when you're down here and you're vibratoing the low E, you don't want to push the string up because then you'll go off the neck of the guitar. So let's pull it towards the ground, like that. So, and again, we're not going towards the ground and then towards the ceiling. We're just going towards the ground and then going back to pitch. Now on the A string, I kind of do the same thing. I pull it down towards the ground. Now with the D string, you can do it both ways. I tend to like to go up for that one, up towards the ceiling. All right? Another bend you can do is here on the low E string, on the 3rd fret. So, bending that 3, and again, pull it towards the ground. All right, so there's a little instruction for you on bends and shakes and vibrato and all that good stuff.